Welcome to Reynolds Razorback Stadium, where they have been calling the Hogs since early in the morning in anticipation of this showdown we have coming. We believe we've got a great one in store today, and when you've got a team that makes it into the top 25, now when you go on the road, that's when you prove you belong. As we'll see, the number 14 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners, taking on another SEC rival, the Arkansas Razorbacks. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. The Sooners will kick it off to get us underway. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Offense set on first down. To the air, it's Green. Going to try to get it himself. Got room at the 35. They finally make the stop, and he shows why he is dangerous on the run, too, and he's got a first down. Starting this drive like that is exactly what they'd hoped for. Now 1st and 10 from the 40. Quick touch pass to the receiver. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one.
I like offenses being creative. I'm not sure if that was the best place to call that play. I think this offense needs to think about just doing things a little bit more by the book. They've got a lot of good playmakers. You don't have to reinvent the wheel this early in the game.
They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. They've got a good chunk of ground to cover on 3rd and long.
What up, Rick? What up?
From the gun, wants to pass. Grab, go in the middle. It's Jackson. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down.
It's a nice effort by the running back, but in that 3rd and long situation, it's just too much work for that running back to convert that 3rd down. Really, nice job. Got to give the defense credit. He surrounded him.
Oh, my God.
Pulls it in. It's Sategna. He's not going to get there. Stopped short on 4th down.
And this offense chooses to be aggressive. Listen, once you start getting to midfield, you see most offenses be aggressive, and they took their chance, and they failed. Now, early in the game, a chance to create momentum to swing back to the other side of the football field.
They're going to open this drive with a pass. Stands in and takes the hit.
Get a pick. Can I get a pick? God damn.
Through his hand. They came out attacking, wanted to impose their will, and they missed a big chance on that one. And after the incompletion on 1st down, this offense
Phoenix, what up?
at 2nd down.
Phoenix.
Back to throw, it's Arnold. Oh, he loves to fire downfield. And the incomplete pass.
That's what he pulled a ring. What up?
On 2nd down, and they'll be left with a 3rd down.
I know that shot down the field was incomplete.
Hector, what up?
But you got to keep taking shots. Those receivers love to go deep. Gives them a breath of fresh air. They get more excitement. And they're going to the quarterback with a little bit more juice because you know you're feeding them. So I would keep taking deep shots down the field.
Going back to the well, another deep ball.
Oh, my God.
And the defense couldn't
G the
corral
kid,
it,
what
and
up?
he took it all the way. Touchdown, Sooners!
You know, sometimes as a play caller, you just don't have to overthink things. I've got a guy who's faster than your guys, and he's just going to run straight down the field. I'm going to throw it way down the field. He's going to make the catch, and we're going to score a touchdown, and that's pretty much what just happened there.
And they add the extra point to finish the drive. They already have the lead, and they're trying to build it here in the 1st quarter with an onside kick.
He bowled. Give me that goddamn ball. Get the fucking ball. Thank you. She that shit.
And these coaches talked about being aggressive, and they were. 1st quarter, you're going with the onside already. I would say it's a little bit careless, a little bit reckless. Onside kicks are not high percentage, but they went for it, they failed, and now let's see how they respond.
And more yards after contact. Slicing and dicing through this defense, and they've got it down to the 23.
Yeah, sure.
I love that play call. This offense is going to run the football. They're not just going to do it between the tackles, but they're going to attack you outside. You saw that with that handoff. They get to the right. They get him in space using his speed.
Whoa.
And the quarterback will take a sack back at the 36.
That about a bitch.
And that's a great job by the defense not letting that bird out of the cage. When you can run like this guy can, you got to keep the edge. Did a great job. He some ground.
Help me.
Up the outside, got the sack on
Go.
Give
me some out of that.
Pick up to put them in position to pick up a first down.
Well, great job there by the defense because they weren't able to get him sacked right away, but you saw the coverage in the back end, nor for the quarterback to throw the football. Didn't get the sack, obviously. You don't get the negative play, but you also don't give up a big one. You're feeling pretty good about where you are right now.
Oh, my fucking God, bro.
He was looking for room to return that, but he'll just hand it to the offense. They'll take over at the 18.
Just ran that bitch.
Really tough on an offense. 3rd and long. It's tough to, you know you're passing the football. They know you're passing the football. I'm going to rush the passer.
Get his bitch ass.
Make you throw the ball underneath, but, you know, quarterbacks also want to force that football. Trying to get that first down. He does there, and that's why he creates the turnover.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7.
Well, man, there's some big hitting going on in the trenches right now. This defense, they take a lot of pride in stopping the run. Let's keep our eye on them throughout the course of the game and see if they can contain this running attack.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. If they can convert here, that type of play can really give you a shot of momentum.
Pick it back. Like, that shit is ass.
He's lucky to get that one back. Almost intercepted.
Wow, the quarterback got away with one there. He's lucky that defender dropped that pass because if he picks it, he might have taken that one to the house.
To the house.
On 4th down, looking for the completion.
Give me that. To the crib.
Now it's picked off.
What's he talking about?
Score on the interception. Touchdown, Arkansas.
What's Buddy talking about?
This time it's the defense finding ways to put points on the board.
There is nothing better than being a defender. Seeing that ball in the end zone. Eyes get big as saucers. Go, jump on that puppy, secure it, get you a touchdown.
Big boy pick. Selly. As soon as I get it. To the crib.
He'll try to tack on one more.
You don't have to work.
And it's perfect. After that latest answer tied things up, just about set to kick it away again.
Fuck, I wasn't even paying attention.
Takes it inside his own 20. Chance for great field position here. And the returner goes down. One final play before the end of the quarter.
Let's go.
Running back searching for a hole.
Get him.
Still running at the 40. He's run out of bounds, but not before. Turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down.
Jamie Smith, thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through.
Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Off the play fake on first down.
Get him. Pick it. Why are you smacking the ball?
Good use of the hands to knock it away.
You know, it's so important for corners to be able to transition, right? You got to have real loose hips. You got to be able to change direction on a dime. And in zone coverage, when you see the ball thrown, you
like your shirt alive, yeah. Like your shirt alive.
Like
Appreciate it.
Gun leaves it on the inside with the back. Nice solid
Money, what up?
tackle from this sophomore.
Not a game. What up? What are you waiting on me for? I'll pick the play.
Some third down conversions tougher than others. This one a long one on third down from the 43.
Better get it. I'm coming.
Looking to throw, it's Arnold.
Because I'm coming. Get his bitch ass.
And Got him. He'll get him.
John, what's going on?
And come on now, O-line. You got to take care of your quarterback. He takes care of you. He's the one who takes you to meals. He's the one to get you those NIL deals. Everything happens through your quarterback. You got to keep him upright. That is your #1 priority.
4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. And they'll get him on the ground as the offense comes out to start the next drive. First down here with time for maybe one more play until the 2-minute warning. On the run, it's Jackson. And just wedges ahead a bit before he's brought down.
Go to work.
We'll take a quick break as we have reached the final 2 minutes of the first half. Now on 2nd down. He's looking to throw.
Yoink.
Pocket starts to collapse. Nifty little scamper on this one. Enough for the first down, and he slides in safely. Whatever the fastest tempo they have is, that's what they'll use. He'll come out throwing on 1st down. Gonna let it fly.
Get that. Oh, my God.
And this is dropped. Incomplete pass. He had a huge gain in his fingers. And
Severe on who?
No gain on 1st down after the incompletion. Now 2nd and 10 from the 40. He's looking to throw. Fires to the wideout.
Oops.
Just masterful working that sideline and getting the toe down for the catch.
I'll tell you what, that's great execution between the QB and receiver. They look like they could execute that throw in their sleep. Quarterback took his steps, threw it on time. Great route by the receiver. Nice job securing the catch.
Wants to throw on 1st down. Trying to make magic with his feet. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a 1st down for this offense.
It's just so hard to stop. There is no rhyme. There is no reason. He just scrambles around, makes people miss, and the next thing you know, you look up and he's 20, 30 yards down the field, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Throws to the tight end.
Oh, this motherfucker picked it off.
He'll try to take it back. Bring in the heat.
Yeah, catch him, because he's doing too much.
The 20, the 10. And they capitalize not only on the but the great return to give the offense tremendous field position.
Defense is about negative plays, creating negative plays and creating turnovers. What a great job, not only creating the interception, but doing something after. You see the blocks after the interception, return it almost back to the house, and now you set your offense up with great field position.
And the sudden change magnified for this defense as it's 1st and goal. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. And the Sooners trying to get a touchdown on 1st and goal. Back to pass, it's Arnold. And the quarterback can make a big play when he starts moving around. And he'll just get rid of that one. They'll give it another shot on 2nd and goal from the 4. He's looking to throw. He wants it all. Snagged in the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I'll tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
So they got the touchdown now, going to put it in the hands of their defense to finish off this half. And they desperately wanted to attempt a return, but decided not to. Instead, they'll take the touchback. The Hogs send that offense back onto the field. And boy, they missed an opportunity last time throwing that pick in the red zone, David.
Yeah, and you got to put that frustration behind you. You can't turn it over. That's a Cardinal sin. You know better than that, Jesse. You can't take points off the board, but you got to move on.
You do. I think he just got way too overeager down in the red zone that last drive. So just come out here, trust your reads, trust what your coaches have told you to do, and just go out and execute the offense.
They get him down after the scramble, but he's able to pick up a few and turn it into a positive play. This offense has a second down play. He's looking to throw. Fires to the middle. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And they are pushing the ball down the field. A big pickup on that one, and the tackle is finally made. The Razorbacks will snap it on 1st and 10. Back to throw, it's Green. He's got his man. He's there to make the stop, but the damage has been done as they pick up the first down on the throw and catch. And the Razorbacks have pushed it inside the 20. Now from inside the red zone. Quarterback now on the run, still looking. And he'll run across the sidelines after the good gain. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. From the gun. Steps away to find some room. And he'll step into the end zone. Touchdown, Razorbacks!
And I love that this offense stuck to it. Stuck to the run game. Didn't panic. They got down, but they answered the bell right before the half, and they got this thing right where they wanted now. They can tie this football game and hopefully go into the half with a lot of momentum.
And the extra point was good to finish things off. You get that touchdown right before the half, build the momentum, and the last thing you need to do is mess it up by allowing a big kickoff return. On the move from inside his 5.
Hit him. Thank you.
Coverage team there to make the stop. They avoid disaster.
Like a shirt alive, Chad. Cowboy again. We're about to win it.
About to kick it away again as we are tied up in the third quarter. And he takes this from inside the 5. Good job by the coverage unit to stop the return man. The Sooner offense returns to the field. First drive of the second half, always fun to watch. You see what type of tweaks were made at the half, especially when you're locked up in a ball game like this one.
Yeah, and it's been a good game. I mean, it's been a little bit of back and
going for
That's pick. That is pick. Thank you.
And the pass, it's picked off.
Appreciate it.
He'll go down right there, but what a big play to come up with that turnover.
And we know turnover margin is a huge part of winning ball games. Interception number 2. The quarterback has to do a better job of taking care of the football. Don't force it. Take the high completion percentage stuff. Don't always try to go for the big play.
They'll start this drive at the 33-yard line. Using his legs, it's Jackson. Not much he could do there. Does pick up 2 to the 34.
The big defensive tackles in the middle, they're not always the best pass rushers, but they are strong, and I say country strong. They put their hands on you, you feel it. They lock people out on the line of scrimmage. They create separation. They wrap running backs up, and usually they don't get out of the midst of those big boys.
That's a really nice looking throw, and I'll tell you, he fits in great with this offense because there's been this philosophical shift recently in the SEC offensively. It used to be you had to run the football. I formation, 3 yards in a cloud of dust if you wanted to win. But today, though, you have got to be able to throw if you're going to win. Think about all the great offensive play callers now in the SEC, all the Heisman Trophy winners.
He puts a lot of air under it down the sideline. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in. This has been a tight one, third quarter, all tied up. It's now 2nd and 10. After the incompletion, they go back up top.
Oh.
Now improvising.
Oh.
And he scoots his way to the first down and then slides to avoid the hit.
He does a good job of dropping back, going through his progressions. Nothing there. What do? Go get some yardage. Make it positive. Don't sit back in the pocket and force something into a bad situation or take a sack. Great job making something out of nothing.
He's got his man. Makes the grab.
Edison right now playing road to glory.
So much of this is feel, understanding where the holes are in the zone, and understanding how to get leverage on a man. And these wide receivers are dangerous nowadays because they do it so fast and see that so
he could have caught that.
That's a throw the QB would like to have back. He just has to do a better job giving his receiver a chance to make the catch.
Dropping back, it's Green. Quarterback extends the play. Keeps it himself and gets the first. What a weapon to have a quarterback that can run like that. They finally got him out of bounds. Snap's going to come from the 23 on 1st and 10. The running back has it. Running with power. And they'll stop him just short of the first down, just inches away from moving the sticks.
Man, when I can run the football like that on 1st down and create 2nd and inches and stay way ahead of the sticks and be in a position now where I can throw the football or run, I will have a lot of success on the offensive side of the football.
The Razorbacks have a 1st down.
Well, they only needed 1 yard, so no mystery there. Turn around, hand it off, and he finds a way to get it.
Now down to the 12-yard line. It's 1st down. Moving the running back, forcing the defense to adjust. Flips it out to the back. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the 1st down without getting it into the end zone. Looking to throw on 2nd down. They get him on the ground at the 3-yard line, but this defense is taking some punches. A 3rd down play to open up this quarter. They'll try to move the chains on the ground.
Bro.
They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
All right, 4th and short. You need a field goal to take the lead. There's less than a minute left right now. I don't think you get aggressive here on 4th down. Just kick the field goal to give yourself a chance to win this game.
On 4th down, they'll pass for it. Touchdown, Arkansas!
What?
And with that, they move out front here in the 4th.
This defense is going to have to do a better job being physical. That's 2 rushing touchdowns they've now allowed. They have got to be better close to the line of scrimmage.
The extra point is good, and now in the 4th, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. The kickoff team out there getting set. Here he comes with the return. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Here comes the Oklahoma offense. Well, the good news about this drive, Jesse, it can't go worse than last time through a pick on the 1st. Looking for a deep man. Makes the catch down the right side. Afterburner's coming. Touchdown Sooners. And once he got loose, it was all over.
A lot of times you see those receivers, as soon as they get by the DBs, you know, that hand goes straight up in the air. I got him. I got to step on him. He got to step on him. And the ball was thrown perfectly out in front. You can see he runs underneath it, gets it, and gets the long touchdown on the go route.
And a little pressure, no problem. The extra point ties the game here in the 4th. He'll start the return inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. The offense will have a chance to get the go-ahead score here in the 4th. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. Turns and moves deep. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have squeezed it. After the misfire, now on 2nd down. quarterback wants to toss it. He's moving out of the pocket. And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16. The clock stops. 2 minutes left to play in this one.
I just love the effort by the defense on this play. We're late in the game. It's in the fourth quarter. Guys are tired, and they're not able to get to the QB right away, but they continue pursuing him, and they're able to get to him outside of the pocket. Nice job.
Dropping back, it's Green. He wants to go deep. And that'll be incomplete. They certainly weren't afraid to take a shot there, and now it's fourth down.
Well, you know, the defense felt freaked out on that one. You're in the fourth quarter, and you're lined up against one of the fastest players in all of college football, and they're taking a shot up top. You just hold on tight and hope for the best, and that time they were able to force an incompletion.
Surprisingly makes a fair catch just outside the 40-yard line. Time for this Sooner offense to go back to work. A quick strike touchdown up top the last time they had it, Jesse. They'd love to do it again.
No doubt. They've got so many playmakers on the perimeter, David. Just find a way to get these guys the ball in space.
And you already started, man. Making that big play, opening up this offense. This quarterback is feeling good about himself. I wouldn't be surprised if they give it right back to him.
It's a 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. He's going to pass. Not quite in rhythm there. Incomplete.
This really has been a masterclass by the quarterback with decision-making, right? We've already seen him throw multiple touchdown passes in the game. He's understood when to take his shots and when to throw it away when things aren't there, like on that first play.
Right back up top on 2nd and 10. A little screen to the running back.
He didn't get a big gain. You want to call that play and probably want to get more yards, but you could tell that was super close or seriously busted loose. Nice job running the screen, getting the ball to your playmaker. If you could just make one more guy miss, that might have been huge.
Yeah, they're just going to need more push up front. There was nowhere for that running back to go. The offensive line got moved right back into his lap, and as a result, they lose yards on him.
Going for it on 4th down late in a tie game. This is a huge play. Can't find his man. It'll be incomplete, and that is a heartbreaker this late in the game.
And sometimes the best defense is a little bit lucky. He was open. He had a chance to make a play. He just dropped it through his hand. It was pretty good defense, but you take those breaks when you can get it.
Got it in the middle. It's Jackson. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. Clock is still running, and they have to get everybody lined up. Looking to throw on 2nd down. He's going to take off. They make the stop, but what a job on the scramble to get loose and pick up that 1st down. Off the play fake on 1st down. Moving away from pressure. And it'll be a short game, but no need to take a big hit there on the scramble.
And I think this is important for this defense. This will be a big key in the football game. Like, I got to limit the damage from that guy. Because that's a QB that's dynamic, and he can make so many big plays. I got to string him out. I got to make him get to the sideline. But I will say this. I do want to hit him at the end of the runs. I don't want to let him out of bounds and let him get free carries. I want it to be physical.
The offense uses a timeout. 15 seconds left to play. And the Razorbacks with the 1st and 10. They'll go to the ground. A strong tackle and wrap up from the junior. The timeout stops the clock with 10 seconds to play. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Looking for a man. It's Green. Forced out of the pocket. He'll pull it down and run. He goes out of bounds after a solid gain on the play. 3rd and short from the 28. Let's see if this is 4-down territory or if they just pick up the first here. Well, jet sweep pass. And he's brought down after a nice game.
Damn, I did not try to get down. But this is it, Chad.
First play of the first possession of OT.
Try to get down and kick the field goal. Then they could have scored.
Wasting no time throwing on this drive. The sure hands. It's Ocha. Not much working there. It'll be 2nd and 9. The Sooners in the hurry up. He wants to throw here on 2nd down. Not in lockstep there with the receiver. They got a ways to go on 3rd down from the 24 as this defense tries to force him into a field goal try.
Screen.
Using the back as a receiver on the screen. Makes the grab, and it's enough for the first down before he's dragged to the ground. The Sooners will start us up here in overtime. They're going to throw it to start the drive. Looking to buy time. Got some room headed to the goal line. Touchdown!
Damn.
Oklahoma. They take the lead here in overtime.
This offense
Block
is so
the field
explosive.
goal.
They can change the scoreboard in a flash. You just saw that on that drive.
And the extra point makes it a 28-21 score. They know what's in front of them. They have to answer that score with a touchdown. Looking to go up top on 1st down. Got a man. It's Jackson. Line getting set on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Now he's going to break the pocket. When you've been around like this guy has, you know how valuable picking up the first down with your feet can be. 1st and goal in overtime, and they have to answer with a touchdown. Back to throw, it's Green. Quarterback adapted. And he'll be out of bounds just short of the goal line, but man, are they in business now. And after the really good gain on 1st down, they'll try to finish it off on 2nd and goal. Touchdown, Razorbacks! They got it in the end zone. Now a decision to make with a point after.
First off, really impressed by how physical this guy is still running the ball this late in the game. And now it's decision time. You want to play it safe, kick the extra point, or are you feeling aggressive to go for 2 points?
And I think this is all about how you feel about your defense and how you feel about this game extending. Do I have a chance? Do I have better players? Am I more fatigued? Like, all this has to come into account because you got a chance right now with one play to win this football game.
We play on 1st down here in the 2nd overtime period. They'll leave it with him. They make the stop, and this running game moves the chains as they get the 1st down. This thing has been back and forth now. 1st and goal as they try to take the lead in overtime number 2. He wants to throw it. Quick strike complete. Touchdown, Arkansas! Got it in to take the lead here in the 2nd OT. Man, did he pay a price for that touchdown.
I got to tell you, those hits, Reese, hurt so good. When you can stand in the pocket like that, under duress, and deliver a strike downfield for a TD, doesn't get better than that.
They're bringing heat. They do not get the 2, and now the lead sits at 6 in double OT. Now on first down, they need to answer with a touchdown. Wants to throw. It's Arnold. Oh, he had him right down the middle, and it just squirted right through his fingers, and they miss an opportunity for a nice play on first down. After the incompletion, they're facing a 2nd and 10 from the 25. Catch in the middle. It's Ocha. There to make the tackle, but the big throw is good enough to give them a first down. And the Sooners are in the red zone. He's looking to throw it. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone. And still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. He wants to throw it again. Floating away. Got some room, headed to the goal line. He almost punched it in for 6. They'll get him down at the 1-yard line. First and goal as they try to answer with a touchdown of their own. They'll keep it on the ground for 1st and goal. Touchdown Sooners! And they answered the bell and responded with a score of their own.
Man, what a great response by this offense. Going down the field, scoring the touchdown now. I got to go for 2. I know the new overtime rules that changed this years ago. Jesse, you should work on this in practice. What's your go-to 2-point play right here?
I'll tell you, after running the ball as well as they did on that last touchdown, I could see them doing it again. I think they've got confidence in the big fellas up front to get it done, find a way into the end zone, and be more physical.
So here we go, dueling 2-point conversions from this point forward. To the air, it's Arnold. They are stopped on the 2-point try, and now it'll be up to the defense. Now this 2-point conversion attempt for the win. Looking to throw. Quarterback moving out of the pocket. Got his man out of the backfield. Let's do it again, guys, shall we? And we'll see just how far down the play sheet they have to go for this 2-point try. He's looking to throw. Here he goes, breaking the pocket. Tremendous execution to get the 2, and now they turn up the heat. So now they'll need to answer to keep this game alive. From the gun, he'll try to throw. He's got it in the end zone. 2-point conversion is good, and we've got a tie game. Now the 2-point conversion attempt is coming. This will be the ball game. Make it and play on, miss it and lose. The play action fake. There. overtime. It always comes down to a few key plays in a game like this, but to lose in overtime, just an absolute kick in the gut.
It's a kick in the gut, and you remember those exact plays, Reese. The things I could have done a little bit better, or the ball could have bounced my way. Just a few of those little plays make the difference in winning or losing the ball.
And I think as players too, David, you know, when you watch the film, you didn't do enough, but you definitely had some positives out there on the field. Guys stepped up, guys delivered, and put you in a position to win.
This storied house has seen some of the game's greats. Boz, Bradford, Peterson, and Stoops. Welcome, everyone, to Norman, Oklahoma, and the Palace on the Prairie, home to the Oklahoma Sooners. We have a ranked versus unranked battle coming up here. You know how chaos can ensue if they start smelling an upset. As we see a squad from the Big 12, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, taking on the 14th ranked team in the land, the Oklahoma Sooners. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. The Sooners will get us started with the opening kickoff. Coming out with it, it's McCray. And the return man reaches the end of the line, and down he goes. Offense getting set for first down. Quarterback making adjustments with his receivers. Looking for room, it's Brooks. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. That linebacker was a heat-seeking missile, and the heat that he sought was the ball carrier.
Yeah, great job, great field. Linebackers are making all the calls in the defense and understanding when I need to come through that gap and come through with bad intentions. Those guys are usually 245 pounds of heat seeking on this one.
A nice job by the QB there, timing out that drag throw. It's zone coverage, so he's got to make sure he gets it to his receiver in a window to allow him to catch the ball and then turn it upfield.
To throw, it's Morton. Gets it out fast. He'll have enough to move the chains. It's first down at the 38.
Really nice job there by the quarterback, understanding that it's zone coverage on third down. You're going to have to find someone working into a soft spot, get the ball out of your hands quickly, make an accurate throw, and pick up the first. Well done.
And the defense finally makes the stop after the sweet run and good gain.
First down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another first down, gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got a burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. And right now, he's doing some damage on this defense. Love the execution there on the screen. The running back shows pass protect, pass protect. Last second turns around, so he's able to get the ball. The D linemen have already run past him. Now he can turn upfield for a big gainer.
A little bit more to go after that last completion. They'll try to pick it up on second down. He's looking to throw. Quickly out to the tight end. He makes the tackle at the 37. It's a pickup of 5. That's good enough for a first down. These routes have some reads and adaptability built in, and the big fella found that cushion and made the play.
Man, it's so awesome how much offenses have evolved. They know exactly what they're getting, where to sit down, quarterback, tight end, on the same page, gets the first down.
And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, this coaching staff, they're getting this offensive line lathered up and into a rhythm. Now they're letting them drive off the ball on first down on these running plays, and they're getting chunks of yardage.
They're trying to get to it. At the 20, he's got space. They finally get him on the ground, but the big running play moves the change for the first down.
These guys aren't human either. I mean, they got to survey the field, throw the football, make deep passes. And then guess what else? They pull the ball down, take off, and make big chunks of plays on the ground. It's just impossible to be on defense nowadays.
And the Red Raiders will have it 1st and 10. Touch pass on the jet sweep. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe, 2nd and 7.
And these little touch passes, man, they're just the easiest completions ever for quarterbacks. Palmer, I bet you would have loved being able to just flip it forward. That counts as to your completion percentage, which is good. And then it's all run after the
picked off. Well, they didn't let him get loose for a big return, but he still made the big play, and they'll take over at the 17.
And how about that play by the defense here early in this game opening drive, facing one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football, and they're able to get an interception. That is going to be massive for their confidence in this game.
And they'll make the stop, and we are headed to the end of the first period. Looking downfield, it's Arnold. Zings it complete to the right. They make the stop, and that's how the first quarter will end. They'll break the seal on this quarter here on first down. He wants to throw. Unloads to the right. Makes the grab. That is exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense finally able to make the stop. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Unloads to the wideout. And the ball is intercepted. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
Really early in this game, you're seeing the ball hawks on both sides of the ball. Interception on the first drive of the game, and now they come out, and this defense gets a pick, in return. There are a lot of dudes in the back end with speed and with the ability to close. What a phenomenal play by that young man just now to get the ball back to his offense.
Well, he comes up with the reception, but not a lot of room to run after that.
Yeah, and I like the QB doing this. I mean, I'm going to find ways to give him the football and see if he can make a miss. And I'm going to bet most of the time that my guy is a little bit more athletic.
And the defense gets to the quarterback. Referee signals timeout as the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. On 3rd and long, trying to convert through the air. Just a short pass to the tight end.
It's a really nice job in coverage defensively there because that tight end, he wasn't really even open. Quarterback just still tried to put it on him and give him an opportunity, but great tackle, short of the stick, setting up 4th down.
Oh, man, this could have disaster written all over it. Going for it inside their own 40. We'll take a quick break here. 2 minutes to play in the first half. I know you want to keep the ball away from the other offense, but going for it inside your own 40? Defense didn't maintain its discipline there, and they get into the neutral zone. It'll cost them 5 yards. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Around midfield, go for it. This isn't 1930 football. Try to get the first down. On 4th down, trying to find his man. Grab near the sticks. It's Kelly. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down.
That's a great example of the receiver knowing exactly where the first down marker is. He got the depth he needed to get, so once he was able to make the catch, he already knew he had it. Now
fires into traffic, picked off. Going the other way, and he's got room. And they capitalize not only on the pick, but on the great return to improve this field position.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision making.
Buys a little time. Trying to escape and get it himself. Quarterback gets past the marker. Gets out of bounds after the big play, and they'll be set up in business for the 1st and goal. New center downs right on the doorstep for this offense. He caught it. Takes it to the house. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
And what a nice start for this offense. The throw game getting working, getting the touchdown pass. This quarterback getting a little bit of confidence. This passing game getting in a rhythm. Nice start for this offense.
Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. Fielded in the end zone, it's Brown. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. Texas Tech ready to send the offense back onto the field. Mistakes are going to happen, as they did on that last drive. Now, how will they respond, Jesse?
And this is the kind of guy who's going to take full accountability. That was my bad. That's on me. I'm about to lead this offense now down the field and score some points.
Dang, Palmer, I wish I would have played with you. I didn't play with many quarterbacks that were just like, yeah, my bad. Hey, guys, I got this. Sorry about that. It was more, you should have ran a better route.
And he scurries out of bounds and wisely avoids taking the big hit. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. Looking downfield, it's Morton. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf. Couldn't find his man last time, and that leaves him with a 3rd and 6. From the gun, wants to pass. Quick completion on the out.
One of the things I love about this defense is they just have such great awareness, and they're always communicating. They understood the down and distance. They knew exactly what they needed to do to make the tackle to force the punt. That is so well done.
They're in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, and this is why you square your prominent jawline and go straight ahead to get it. How about that defense rising up and stopping him short on fourth down?
And what a job by this defense. Early in the game, you want to set the tone. You want to set your offense up as much as you can. And here in the first half now, giving the ball back to them on their side of the field, shutting the fourth down conversion down, sending a message to this offense.
He's right on target.
Hey, who says hitch passes can't get big yards? Receiver catches it, makes a guy miss, and goes and gets a first down.
Second down coming up. He's looking to throw. Going to try to pop one on the screen. And they wrap him up, but not before he gets enough on the catch for the first down. The Sooners moving quickly to the line. Trying to find his man on first down. Finds his man. It's Ocha. Makes the catch and he's brought down. Now on second down after the short completion. He's looking to throw. He'll take a shot. He makes a grab. And he'll go out of bounds just short of the goal line, and they've got it right on the doorstep. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Go straight ahead. And he takes it to the house. Touchdown Sooners! They'll try to add another to their lead.
I love running backs that have a nose for the goal line. Understand how to get there, finish strong into the end zone, know I get 6, and then go celebrate with you.
And the extra point is good. So here comes the kickoff after the touchdown, and the last thing you need right before the half is to give up a big return. He'll bring it out. It's McCray. That gamble did not pay off as they bring him down at the 12-yard line. They'll be able to snap it one more time. Let's see how aggressive they are on 1st and 10. Looking to move it through the air. Blasted as he lets it go. The pass is incomplete, and the clock will stop with 5 seconds left.
He didn't have a whole lot of time to get rid of that one. The defense was all over him right after the snap. No wonder that thing fell incomplete.
One more snap coming before halftime. To the air, it's Morton. He lofts one down the sideline. Snatches it on the right. They make the stop, but man, oh man, did he almost get a score on the final play of the half. A big gain. The Red Raiders will boot it away to start the second half. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Oh, what vision. Can they catch him? They won't get him. It's a touchdown.
can't start the second half any better than that. You're trying to come out of the locker room. You're trying to create some momentum. Taking the first kick of the third quarter back for a touchdown, that is exactly what this head coach was looking for from his players.
Oh, and it hits the left upright. No good. They're just about to boot it away, full of energy after housing that last kickoff. Fielded in the end zone. It's Brown. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Texas Tech has it back, and the Red Raider offense on its way to the field. They'll crank up this drive with the pass. The freshman able to get home with the sack. Just a great job defensively, making him go through his progressions, and he really didn't have time to do it.
And that's exactly what you do in zone coverage. You drop in your spots, you read the quarterback's eyes, make sure you take away that quick stuff, and a great job rushing the passer and getting the sack.
Fires to the big fella. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks.
And that's why play action is going to be big in this game. You saw how it just freeze the second level of that defense just for a second. It allowed the tight end to work himself vertically down the field. But how about this guy after the catch, right? So hard to bring down. What a weapon.
And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. He just didn't have a chance to get loose and make his way to that first down marker.
And I think fans get upset sometimes, like run your route past the sticks so we get the first down. But nice job by the defense understanding where the sticks were and forcing the fourth down.
Unloaded just as he throws. It's incomplete, and they stop him on fourth down. Couldn't ask for better field position for this offense. Running back goes in motion. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. He'll try to do it himself. He is brought down, but man, what a job to find some running room and move the chains. And the Sooners line it up with a first and goal. To the air, it's Arnold. And that pass picked off. The 50. He's at the 40. The 20. And he will roll into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Raiders!
Number 1, defensive zone.
Why not double the try total and go for 2? Snapped it in the shotgun. Into the end zone for the 2, and now it's a 12-point game.
How about that for a momentum swing? Your defense gets the pick 6, offense comes right back on the field, and they get the 2-point conversion.
They got it, able to recover the onside kick, and they get the offense right back out there. Texas Tech ready to send the offense back onto the field. There have been a couple of missed opportunities for these offenses in the last couple of drives, Jesse.
And I think for this offense here, it'd be nice to hit an explosive play, be aggressive, and really pay off your defense's effort that last drop.
And instead of having to move the ball down the field consistently and then getting stopped on fourth downs, you're right. Create some of those explosives. Take those deep shots. Make those big plays.
On second down, wants to throw it. He'll pull it down. He gets the job done, picking up the first down, then getting down. And the Red Raiders want to move quickly.
Hey, listen, it's important at that position to be able to be good off schedule. Everything's easy when it's on time. You get the ball out. But when things break down and they get off schedule, you've got to have a guy back there that can make the right decisions. He did exactly that.
The Red Raiders come to the line with a new set of downs.
Nice job by the QB, sitting back in the pocket. You can tell he wants to throw the football, go through his progressions. Nothing home, take off and slide. I love this slide at the end. Don't take a big shot.
And that had all the makings of bug meat windshield. But how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the first? Dropping back, it's Morton. Deep shot for the end zone. And it's picked off for the third time today. And the senior just took that one out of the air and sends it the other way.
Turnover margin always goes such a long way in deciding who wins the football game. Interception number 3, that is no bueno. Got to take care of the football. Can't keep putting your defense in a bad position, putting them on the field time and time again.
Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver. After that last incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from their own 20. Misfired on the last play, they'll go back to the air. They've got the screen set up, and they'll shove him out of bounds after the short gain. Let's see what they do on 3rd down.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. With the score, Oklahoma 20, Texas Tech 8.
They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. Trying play action. Getting some heat. Fires to the tight end. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. They allowed the completion, but this defense was swarming to keep them away from that first down line.
Yeah, and you allow completions in those 3rd down situations underneath the sticks, and you come up and rally, and everybody flies to the football. That's great execution by this defense.
Texas Tech has it back, and the Red Raider offense on its way to the field. After throwing the pick on the last drive, need to take care of the ball this time, Jesse.
We're going to find out a lot about this quarterback right here, too. How does he fight through adversity after that last drive?
Yeah, clear the mechanism, move on. That's a part of it, right? If you're going to be a great player, you got to learn how to handle these mistakes and move on.
Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. Looking for a man. It's Morton. Right on target this time. And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there.
It's so important that this offense is able to stay on schedule. What that means is keeping 3rd downs manageable. That last completion to the tight end accomplished just that. Really nice play.
They turn to the passing game on 3rd and short. Caught in the backfield. It's Brooks. He couldn't find anywhere to go, and now it's 4th down.
3rd down, man. I think this offense would want to throw it down the field, at least past the sticks. But this defense and their athleticism and speed, they gobble him up behind the line of scrimmage.
Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. Down by multiple possessions. They can't come up empty on this drive in the 4th quarter. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. And it's picked off for the 4th time today.